LCID is literally the earliest archer commander with Thutmose that you will have access to in Rise of Kingdoms. Today, I'll be going over an in-depth guide for LCID. I'll give you pre-Season of Conquest pairs, Season of Conquest pairs. I'll give you formations that you should be using with LCID, your equipment, your skills, your talent trees. I'll also be going over how to get LCID sculptures, if it's even a good investment. And also, I'll talk a little bit about his relic. That's 9 things which I'm going to be covering in this video. And if you have an LCID, it is essential knowledge that you must have. Alright everyone, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. This is technically kind of like a part 1 for the series, where I go over every commander, every archer commander in the game. That's the whole goal of my channel. I'm going to go over every archer commander, all I think 15 of them, and I'm going to be giving you the most in-depth guides on how to use them, skills, etc, etc. Now, LCID is an archer versatility skill commander. You unlock him, first thing, you open up your game, you go to your tavern, and you have a chance of getting an LCID. He is a legendary archer commander, not like that really matters. Now, before I go over his talent trees, I'll go over his skills first so we know what we're really working with. First, we have 1000 damage factor if we disregard the museum buff. And you disable your opponent's skills, active skills, and normal attacks for 1 turn. Each turn is 1 second. Normal attacks are just the white damage numbers when you attack enemies, and skills are the big red damage numbers that come when you use all your rage. It has a rage requirement of 1000, just the base rage requirement for all commanders. Next, his arguably best skill, his second skill, deals 1000 extra damage factor to the target. So, basically, you just have instant damage factor. This is the only thing that keeps LCID as a not rubbish commander. If he had anything other than this, he would be completely garbage. Next, he gets 20% defense and 15% march speed, slightly worse than Nebu's second skill. You're down 10% stats in this one. And then his fourth skill, his probably second best skill, is you get 25% increased all damage and also 25% increased march speed when you're below 50% units. This just gives you that extra bit of tankiness whenever someone's attacking you, and if you just drop below that threshold of units, so you can just kind of get away way quicker. His last skill, not even worth trying to get this, unless you just get it over time. You're looking at 5% increased attack, 5% increased defense, and you deal 2% extra damage to infantry units. Rubbish, in my opinion. Not worth gold heads, of course. But if you have it, it's just free stats. So, technically, LCID, all four of his skills are relevant to the open field. Now, if we're looking at LCID talents, I'm going to go to my Boudica, because my Boudica has the same trees as LCID. Keep that in mind. Now, we're at level 60 LCID. Let's go to page 2. I'm just going to reset this real quick. With the level 60 LCID, you'll want to max probably the archer tree. You can see here. I would max this. I think this tree is just good enough for LCID. And then I would go down here, get the extra rage. There we go. So you want to get that extra rage. So you want to max the archer tree plus this extra rage, razor sharp. And then rejuvenate. And finally, latent power, which enhances additional skill damage, which LCID has a good amount of. If you don't know what additional skill damage is, check out my best archer pair guides up in the top now. And then, if you have 9 more points left, I'll put 6 to reduce the skill damage you take. And then another 3 here to reduce to increase your skill damage, sorry. And then I'd probably just put the last 2 into this to increase your health, and then 1 more here to increase your attack. You could just go here as well, it's the same thing. Alright, so that's LCID's probably best pair if you're just going for pure damage without active skills. But if you want to make the most benefit from LCID's active skill, or you have another commander with LCID that needs a lot of active skills, then I would recommend a talent tree somewhat like this. You can see here, we're looking at, actually let me fix this up a little bit. Ooh, don't want to switch here. You can reset this. So first, you obviously want to get Feral Nature, that's a must have. You just get this skill all the time if you're going for a rage build. LCID, you want to get the latent power, and you want to go here and get razor sharp. Now I think you don't have enough, but you have just enough talent points to come up here and get Phoenix Tail Arrows, which is probably the better skill over getting the extra health, but you still get another 2% health. This would be El Cid's best rage tree, just to generate as much rage as you can. So you max out the feral nature, go right down here, just max everything to get to feral nature. Then you want to unlock latent power. Then you go here and get razor sharp. Then phoenix tail arrows, and then you go back and get the armed and armored health. So just make sure you follow it in that order. If you're not like level 60 or like battling early game and you've got like a level 40 El Cid, then you'll just try and get that feral nature as soon as possible. Okay, so El Cid's best pairs pre-season of conquest. If you've whaled out on El Cid, which you can get him of course in the gold chests, which we discussed a little bit earlier in the video, but you can get him in the gold chest and go on the reward list. Get him down here in the golden chest rewards. El Cid sculptures are here. Where are they? There we are. El Cid. And then also you can get a full El Cid from this chest. And then if you don't get an El Cid from there, you can also get him in the Lucerne Scrolls. You can see it's actually Archer season right now, so I'm pretty sure that YSG is the better selection here. And now the thing with El Cid is, if you go into the shop, you can also buy him in the daily special offer. You can see here, I've got El Cid in the daily special offer. He comes out with all these other daily special offer commanders, so all these ones besides YSG will release at the same time up until El Cid. After El Cid, Genghis Khan and Alex and that all release at different stages. So El Cid is one of the options in the daily special bundle. I can say with confidence he's quite good very early game, up until you get about the lost temple when you get your first King's Land, like the home kingdom King's Land. El Cid is actually very good, and then I would recommend him in this situation. So if you're whaling out, if you're one of the rallies, it's like an unstable early game kingdom and everyone's fighting and just battling, having lots of fun, and you've got an El Cid, you're going to be wrecking in this situation. Like, there will be people out there with possibly a Richard, and you're going to have an El Cid, maybe Thutmose, and you'll be doing very good in this situation. So if you're whaling really early game, I can highly recommend El Cid, just because he has so much damage factor. Now, will he hold up late game? Probably not. So if you do have other options, like if you want Charles Martel, then he's also probably a better option. But if you're looking for archers, El Cid's certainly one of the best early game archers. Now, once YSG releases, El Cid does fall off quite a bit. So I guess you probably wouldn't want to go for YSG. You would probably want to go for YSG over El Cid. Speaking of YSG pairs quite well with El Cid. So if we go in here, Legendary Archers, YSG plus El Cid is arguably the best or one of the best early game KVK combos if you're whaling. You can argue Thutmose is better than El Cid, and I can agree to that. I personally would rather Thutmose, but some people like the extra damage factor that El Cid provides. So YSG and El Cid is an option, or El Cid and Thutmose is also an option. Now, who's going to hold more longevity? Thutmose, without fail. He at least has a bunch of debuffs that he does mediocre, like changes to the opponents in. So he's going to hold up a bit better than El Cid. El Cid is really just a pure stat machine. Now, best formation for El Cid, if you're using the Ottoman Empire, don't go for the wedge formation for El Cid, unless you're using like Henry, who doesn't have any increased skill damage and wants increased skill damage, then go for the wedge formation. If not, best formation for El Cid, in my opinion, is actually the arch formation, because you'll be doing way more normal attack damage. Now, if we go out of the arch formation, we go into the equipment. Of course, we've already discussed archer equipment in another video, but I didn't go too in-depth on accessories for each commander, so I'm going to do that for El Cid now. El Cid, Greatest Glory is a great option for him. The normal attack damage increase, again, is quite good. If you have Greatest Glory though, then don't use the arch formation, go for the wedge formation. If you do go for the Eternal Knight, depending on the Eternal Knight, then I wouldn't go for the arch formation, I would just stick with this. I wouldn't go for the wedge formation, I would just stick with the arch formation. However, I can recommend the Greatest Glory. Best way to get it is Season of Conquest shop or like Blueprint Fragment Choice chests, and it's a bit annoying to get, and it's not as good as some other accessories, but if you've already like whaled out and got almost every other accessory, Greatest Glory is fine for El Cid. Next one, Horn of Fury. 30% chance to gain an extra 50 rage is also great. So El Cid really does want that active skill going. You can see I've got it on my Boudica. But El Cid really does want that active skill going. This is a Season of Conquest only accessory though, so keep that in mind. And if you don't want to go for the greatest glory and you want something that's a bit more temperamental but may give you more value, is you want the Ring of Doom. This is probably better than the greatest glory in my opinion, but you can consider greatest glory. Ring of Doom gives 10% increased damage, and 10% chance to increase all damage by 50% for 2 seconds. So the only thing with this is El Cid already has a lot of all damage. We know in Rise of Kingdoms, diminishing stats is a thing, so the more of one stat you have, the weaker that stat is. Now, best Season of Conquest pairs for El Cid, quite simple. If you've just gotten to Season of Conquest, first thing you want to do actually, before we talk about this, please, guys, please do like, subscribe, turn on notification bells. El Cid's actually watching you right now. He knows you haven't done it yet. So pause the video, quickly scroll down, push subscribe, notifications on, and leave a comment. Don't forget to leave a like while you're down there. I appreciate that. Now, in Museum, which is a building you unlock at City Hall 21 and in Season of Conquest, you will get 25% increased archer attack and 30% active skill damage. Not 30%, 300 plus 300 damage for El Cid's active skill. This is a pretty bad relic, but it's just free stats on an El Cid. So if you're going to be using him, you have to get this to 2 stars, which means you unlock it and then upgrade it. So once you've done that, then El Cid's possibly a usable commander. I would say Boudica plus El Cid is probably your best bet. Boudica does not mind that extra all damage when you get below 80% or 50% troops, sorry. Also, she can heal up, and if you're really, really cheesy, what you can do is you can fight barbarians with your Boudica, get her below 50%. You can fight players with Boudica, get her below 50%, go and fight barbarians, heal your troops by fighting those barbarians with like a Cleopatra as well. And then you can go in with your Boudica and El Cid and just have permanent 25% all damage and permanent march speed. Now, would I say this is good? No. It's going to take you so long to get that Boudica back up to max, and you're just going to look like a fool. So in the middle of a battle, it's not really going to work. But, I mean, it's an option because the time limit on this is forever. So once you get below 50% units, this will stay up forever until you get back to your city. Also, El Cid's instant damage is something Boudica doesn't have at all. And Boudica does have a debuff that increases the skill damage your opponents take. So if you're using like a Scipio Guan or a Scipio Alex, and you think you want to have a Boudica in there to increase the skill damage they deal, then your Boudica and El Cid will do fine until you get probably a better commander to substitute that out. Now, if you're looking at maybe one more possible pair for El Cid, then I would say Henry V plus El Cid is a fine option. Would I say it's a good idea? Probably not, but it's an option. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you feel like you got value from this Rise of Kingdoms content, then you must drop a like, you must subscribe. I'm not even asking anymore, I'm demanding. So, if you want to see more content like this, you've got to subscribe, like, comment. Any comments, I respond to every single one. Alright? Even, thank you, I enjoyed the video. I will respond. Thank you for watching. So, on that note, I'll see you in the next one.